el derecho de vivir. Poeta Ho Chi Minh, que golpea de Vietnam a toda la humanidad. Ningún cañón borrará el surco de tu arrozal, el derecho de vivir en paz.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Jae. It's so lovely to be with y'all today here. I work at Việt Left Power, or VLP, which is a new power building organization based here in the US. Our vision and strategy is to organize working class Viet leftists here in the belly of the beast, the heart of empire. So we've been organizing for decades, really without any like organizational status, just like grassroots as volunteers. There's been various initiatives to bring us together and advance a shared vision, build a sense of community, and bring working class Viet people into the multiracial Black, Indigenous, Latine, and other Asian American communities struggle for power and justice. On the 50th anniversary of the end of the American wars in the countries of Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam, our organization VLP joins with millions in the world celebrating the socialist experiment and nation building that has emerged in Vietnam over the last 50 years. To our comrades and teachers and mentors in Vietnam, one of our core strategies is to learn the work to be in solidarity with you all. We want to help Vietnam understand the mechanisms of the US, especially in these times where the authoritarian right has reemerged as the driving force in this country. Buoyed by a Christian nationalist, white supremacist, and deeply heteropatriarchal morale and worldview. So it's really imperative for us to learn from the leaders around the world that are making material gains for working and poor people's lives, such as Vietnam and other countries. On this anniversary, we hope that Vietnam is able to celebrate its victories this year with immense pride, deep reflection, and a clear and far view of the future that we all deserve, which is justice, dignity, sovereignty, and peace for all people. Here in the US, we are looking to build solidarity with other liberation movements of leftists around the world. So that means people who understand the systemic failings of capitalism and seek a humane, people-centered alternative. So we support self-determination for the people in Vietnam and internationalism and solidarity with people's struggles around the world. I'll be honest with y'all, over the last few months, and really the last few years, I find myself in a cycle of sorts. I often fall into this pit of fear and despair, and I'm wondering if other people are also feeling that way right now. And then when I come out of that haze, I kind of realize something. Empire wants us to be afraid because the more fearful we are, the more they hope we will cling to the systems that exploit us. And most of the time it works. But I know that one thing is true, that my people, meaning Viet folks, Southeast Asian people, the poor and the working class, the people of the global South, queer and trans folks, leftists here in the US, and all of y'all's people, right? Those sitting here in this room, those joining us virtually, leftists here in the US, and the folks who couldn't be here because they were martyrs. We come from a long line of resistance and resilience. We have been in this moment before, and we know that the spiral of time loops back to itself. We have faced the end of the world many, many, many times. I think in the last 1,000 years before Vietnam won its independence, it had constantly been struggling against imperial powers: China, Japan, France, and the United States. So as long as there has been empire, there's also been resistance. Did you know that the chemical warfare that the US waged in the countryside of Vietnam, the chemical Agent Orange, aka dioxin, which has decimated millions of lives and still actually lives in our soil, our air, and water, still disables millions of people born today, several generations later, and will continue to do so. Did you know that that chemical was manufactured by Monsanto? Which has, of course, rebranded itself as the Bayer Company, but it's the same thing. It's the same manufacturer of white phosphorus in the United States, which is actually coincidentally, this is such a coincidence, it's being used to decimate and disable and maim the Palestinian people being occupied in the West Bank. Isn't that fascinating? Did you know that Black Americans here in the US during the Civil Rights Movement, did you know that the people in Cuba, South Africa, Palestine, and all over the globe were protesting the US invasion into Laos and Cambodia and Vietnam? Because they knew that the Vietnamese people deserved to be free and that their struggle was the same as ours. That if we all fight the same systems that bind us all, that we can all benefit. This is why solidarity is so important to us as Vietnamese people and at our organization, VLP. Because solidarity is our responsibility to one another. Solidarity, I like to think of it as a verb and a practice. Because the road to liberation is hella long, right? Like, I'm not gonna see that at the end of my lifetime. I don't think that my parents are gonna see that before they die. I don't think that my nephews and my nieces are gonna see a world in which all living beings are free. But what that means is that it requires us to do the work every single day. And I'll be honest with y'all, I don't want to live in a world where sacrifice is necessary, but I'm really grateful for the sacrifices that we have to make to help each other get free one day. So the next time that I or we want to fall back into the depths of despair and fear, I hope we can remember that yes, we are definitely motivated by our rage and our resistance against empire. And we are motivated by the love we have for each other and this planet. We are motivated to love and value every form of life on this earth, including perfect strangers that we have never met and never will, but whom we love and whom we know deserve to be free. And empire will never take that away from us. Thanks, y'all.